topic that received the most discussion at the May 19th Select Board meeting traces back to Article 16 of the annual town meeting.
Article 16, to see if the town will vote to establish a maximum expenditure limit of $10,000 per single purchase for all town departments and reserve fund expenditures.
If you're not familiar with the backstory, watch the video linked in the description before continuing on with today's video. The first agenda item that takes up this issue is agenda item 5.
Rick Duvall has asked to address the select board committee. He has the communications consulting service, the company which the Weld Fire Department has purchased radios from, and he maintains the radio towers and the radio for all the radios for Weld Fire.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to speak about the $10,000 expenditure limit that was approved at town meeting and how it is or is not working, I think, the way the town wanted. The Weld Fire Department purchased $10,629 worth of radios from me, which was a known expenditure. It was talked about at the budget committee. It was talked about at the town meeting. At town meeting, the Historical Society approached the fire chief and offered to give the fire department $5,000 towards that purchase. Estimates were given to the Historical Society and to the fire chief, and after everything was tweaked so that the equipment met the specs that the fire chief wanted, an order was placed and the radios were delivered to the fire department. During that process, the fire chief spoke with the town office and spoke with the Historical Society about how this was going to be paid, and they asked me what I wanted, and I said, it doesn't matter to me. I can bill separately, I can bill however you want, and it was instructed to me to bill the town for the full amount. The town was gonna, the Historical Society was gonna give $5,000 to the town, and that money was gonna be used to pay for half the bill. So the bill was submitted, and I'm under the impression that I'm going to be paid right away because nothing's been told to me any differently. And the terms of my sales are always due on receipt. And immediately upon submitting the bill, I'm told I can't get paid without a special town meeting because it's over $10,000. So I'm not sure where the disconnect has come in on this. I did everything that I was supposed to do. It is now 4 weeks later. I still have not been paid. I don't want to charge the town late fees, but I am entitled to charge as much as 5% per month late fees, which would be over $500, and I don't want to do that. Going forward, this has to be streamlined so that if a vendor's not going to be paid right away, they need to be told that before an order is placed. And the town, I believe, needs to have all their approvals in place before they place an order. That's only the fair way to do business. It is not fair to place an order and then say, oh, sorry, we can't pay you. You're going to have to wait 6 weeks, 7 weeks for your money. We're not talking $100 here. We're talking over $10,000. And there's some discussion that's been had that it's not $10,000 of town money that's being spent. It's really only $5,629 because $5,000 is being paid by the Historical Society passed through the town. That money was given to the town specifically for those radios. It was not given to the town for the general fund. Here's $5,000, do what you want with it. It goes into the bank account and it's an asset of the town. It was a pass-through. So there's some confusion as to how that should handle. And also I want to say that, after that policy was put into place, there was no training provided to any of the town employees on how this policy should work and what is right and what is wrong as far as, negotiating with a vendor and, making sure that a vendor is told that they're not going to be paid right away. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you. We understand your frustration. I'm hoping that when we get to the warrant articles, that the information given by the town auditor will help clear this matter up. So it's my understanding from the auditor that the reason that it couldn't be paid out immediately all at once was because the check or the payment that would be sent to you would be over $10,000. And so it fell in under this new policy that we have for this year.
So what I would like to say is that I run into this, never to this extreme. I've been doing this for 26 years. And I do run into customers who have spending limits, and rightly or wrongly, they will mail an invoice back and say, give me 2 separate invoices. Now, I get it. That's circumventing the policy, and not necessarily the right way to do things. But they also realize that they have a responsibility to their vendor to get them paid in a timely fashion. So.
I think that was brought up to the auditor, and he advised us not to do that.
Thank you for that, Rick. I wholeheartedly agree with your concern. I've sympathized very much. I think that's also why when this was proposed at the select board level before town meeting, that I voted against it. And I also spoke out against it at the town meeting and voted against it. However, because it was passed by the people, we have to abide by it. And we are working very hard right now, hopefully to have special town meeting to get your specific request and others to get town running again. And of course, working on this to see how it could really fit what everybody was trying to pass, because I agree, there was a bit of a misunderstanding, but at town meeting, it just didn't happen.
I think, well, I lost my train of thought. It's gone.
We know what it all, we know what it all stemmed from, right? I think the intent was that it was the reserve fund that we were going to limit.
Yeah,
The verbiage unfortunately didn't capture that, so
Yeah.
now we're in a pickle.
and this is going to continue to come up because radios are a normal expenditure.
Understood.
People lose their page, we have to buy new ones. Yes, the dollar amount was high, but we could lose the pump on the fire truck, which has happened before, and that $20,000. And in my opinion, the fire chief, because now I'm putting my town hat on, the fire chief can't wait for a special town meeting to call and say, hey, we gotta have this fire truck fixed. We can't wait. And oh, by the way, once you fix it, you're gonna wait 6 weeks, 7 weeks to get paid. Well, a lot of vendors are gonna say, no, not happening, because I gotta lay out $10,000 for this pump, and then I gotta wait 6 weeks. So, I don't know what the solution is, but I think that reasonable and customary expenses that are gonna happen. The road crew's gonna need things that cost more than $10,000. $10,000 is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money on some of the equipment that everybody works on. So, just my opinion, I think somewhere, if it's a budgeted item that's reasonable and customary, that's gonna be allowed to go through.
Everyone's on the same page.
But something that's out of the ordinary needs to go before the town.
Yeah, everyone's on the same page, and that's why Lisa's been working on rewriting the warrant articles for,
I think we all have.
yeah.
I will.
And you have, yes, sorry.
I will say too that MMA Legal has advised us to write a policy for the reserve funds so that this doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
So,
think that makes sense.
once all this settles and then,
Yeah.
you know, I'll start working on that.
Just out of curiosity, what's it cost to do a special town meeting
Yeah.
to the town?
Time.
Right, I mean, we have photocopy expenses for putting together the packets.
So each time we have a special town meeting, it's costing the town. So,
Yes,
I
it will.
did a little bit of estimation going into town meeting on that. And as I saw this, you know, it would be about 15 expenses would have to go, we have 15 special town meetings. And you would think the people that are running it, so definitely the town clerk, the deputy clerk, so that's 2 overtime already, photocopies, time, labor. So I would say, it depends on how complicated it is. You know, a couple $1,000 to $5 every time.
Well, Devin, Barbie.
I'm probably asking a very dumb question, but has Rick been paid the $10,000 that the town agreed?
No, not yet.
I guess I'm confused if that was voted on at the town meeting.
Correct.
That anything over $10,000 can't be.
Right, I'm saying give him the 10 and then
Oh.
let's figure out this other bit
Right,
to
I think
go.
we're going to be doing that
Yes.
today on having this special town meeting, so we can approve that expense and all the others. It's not just his. There's at least 5 expenses. The RSU 9, there's a truck payment, there's,
We have other ones coming
so
up.
we are trying to hold a special town meeting ASAP. That's what we're trying to do anyway.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Becky?
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, because I was down here one day and the public works person had to put in 3 bids to get something. Is that customary through the whole departments or is just,
There's no,
because I couldn't find a policy.
there's no policy. And that has come up when, you know, the last 5 years for me, that no, the town is not required to at all. But if we have a policy to do so, we have to abide by
Right.
that, but we don't.
But the policy, would that be on the website, right?
Yeah, we would have to publish it, obviously.
I don't think this will alleviate Rick's problem or the fire department's problem, but what if we know that a bill is going to be coming in for over 10,000, ask for half up front.
Right. And,
Something.
for Rick, the auditor did say, my understanding is that if it had been submitted, you know, in the 2 separate bills, that one could have been covered from the grant money and the other from the town debt.
So going forward, we could make that suggestion.
Right, but then to take that bill back that Rick submitted and then
No,
divide it.
I understand. That wouldn't alleviate Rick's problem,
Right.
but it could going forward.
Lori?
Is there a reason that the historical money had to pass through the town? Because that would have been the way that it could have
Not
been paid right
that
off.
I'm aware of. I think it could have
Could have been
possibly
paid
gone
right
directly
away
to
if we
Rick.
didn't have to do that. Because when we do those grants, we usually would be able to turn the check over.
I don't know,
I
that
don't know why
was,
I don't know
that
about
was, that was,
historical
just-
notion.
maybe Corey has some light on that, because that was something that Corey.
If it's a donation to
Sean
the town, then it would
talked about.
have to be to the town, because he's selling it to the town, not to historical. But we can, this might be a good way to get to the
Yes.
article revision.
Yeah. Goals. So much stuff around here. Okay. I have been in contact several times with the town, well, not several, 3 times at least with the town auditor and MMA Legal with the proposed drafts for the town articles so that we can bring it to special town meeting and move forward and get these done. My hope tonight is that together with the 3 of us here, we can finalize this warrant so that we can send it back. MMA Legal has offered to look over our finalized draft and make any further suggestions for approval so that we can bring it before the town.
So have you circulated this draft to us?
Yes, you have a draft,
You
the
said
third
you,
draft.
you said you were going to circulate a draft this morning and
Oh.
I never received anything.
I do have just this one. I talked to Colleen today. I added some more $10,000 expenditures, Carol. And that one's for you. And then it has the article number 7 for the recreational spaces so that they can move forward and apply for that funding. And the only other change that I made to this one after speaking with the town auditor was article number 5 to make it a little more broad so that Robert could have a easier time purchasing the 3 items that he needs for the 2023 excavator.
So, I'm sorry, just to make sure we have all the paperwork right, because that will matter and when you draft a warrant. Is this draft number 4?
Yes,
It's
this will
labeled
be
draft
draft
number
number
3,
4.
and then it's, okay. So there, okay, this is very difficult to read in a meeting to understand. I think we owe it to the town to be actually reading it in an office or in a room and then not at the actual meeting. To be able to provide some.
Well, if we get together, doesn't it have to be a public?
No, we think on our own, as we've done many times.
If the 3 of us were to meet to go over these articles.
No, I
Doesn't
would
that
need to read that by
constitute a
myself
meeting?
first
Okay.
and give you comments and, yeah, so, but even just looking at the first one right now, just quickly, it doesn't look like you've taken in any of the comments I sent to you, I guess, April 21st, about a month ago?
So the comments that you gave me on April 21st, I had published the first draft more than a week before, and I sent it off to MMA Legal and the auditor on April 20th for comment.
So both of those, legal and auditor, they're advisors to the whole select board, not just you or any one of us. So they need to see an agreed upon version before they will give us advice because they're advisors to the town. And I called MMA Legal because you had given me an email to that effect that you talked to MMA Legal and they said to write this. And then I called to check on all that and they went over the notes that you spoke with them and it didn't say anything that my comments were included.
After, when I did speak to MMA Legal, I did include your comments. It was a verbal conversation on the phone.
Right, I know,
She
they,
called me.
and then she, yeah, and they did not include, and I still don't have those comments inserted, so I don't think they reviewed our joint draft.
We don't have this draft that we've been working on is the joint draft.
No, it's your draft.
The comments that you made, I took the conversation that I had with MMA Legal, and she did call me because she felt like it would be easier to review everything over the phone and ask questions rather than go back and forth via email.
Yeah.
And then it was a week later, I was supposed to have an appointment with the auditor. He didn't make it, he was stuck in a meeting, so 4 days after that, we had a phone conversation, which I forwarded to all of you. And I took their comments of the proposed articles and put them together, trying to follow as closely to their recommendations as I
To
could.
your draft.
It was the draft that was circulated.
And then I gave
Original.
comments to that. I gave you all
You
these
gave me comments after.
And then you had to talk to them again, right? You send it to the auditor again. And I said, we should agree on this before we send it. Because the advice would be a waste of their time, because they're gonna have to look at it again.
So, just a point here. Clearly, we're not in agreement about the amendments. It seems we're going to have to do a special select board meeting, allowing time for everyone to review what this is, add comments, back and forth as much as we can, and then get back together. and
I agree. I think
hash
we
this
should
out.
have a special town
We're
meeting
not getting anywhere
ASAP. We can announce it tomorrow. The reason to do that, the way to do it, I would, again, just put the articles that we agree on. I didn't know you would change more, add more expenses, because I think we have not had any disagreements on the specific articles for Article 5. I'm working with your draft number 3 from May 8th. And my comments to you that I sent again on May 11th, I think generally what needs to special town meeting are the equipment from Public Works Department, the ambulance contract, the radios, the RSU, April payment, 2015 Ford payment. Those are the ones I don't think we have any disagreements on. If you would look at my caveats, but that's about it. And we should hold a special town meeting ASAP while posting the warrant tomorrow on those articles alone, and work on the big article trying to fix Article 16. Because it seems like we have major disagreements on that.
What about Article 2?
Article 2.
Where there was an error?
Yeah, that's fine. Article 2 is fine. Also, Article 7, sorry, for the rec board. For the rec board.
That one was added to this draft number 4. Article 3, our payment to Calderwood Engineering.
Yeah, that's fine.
Article 4, I know you are opposed to this, allowing authorizing the select board to receive donations for the Weld Fire Station project.
Yeah. Can we discuss that? Okay. So the reason I put in my comments already in April 21st.
Right.
But it's because the town, unfortunately, I think was misguided to reject that blanket approval of donations at the annual town meeting. We shouldn't be attempting a blanket approval of donations at a special town meeting when only special interest group is going to show up. The whole town, although it was very close, and I didn't want that, wanted to basically let them authorize donations even under $1,000. They said no. And now we're trying to do that by piecemeal just for this, fire department. What about all the other departments? Should we all set up different accounts for donations for that?
And we did approve for Weld Rec and for the recreational spaces.
Those are the
And
ones that
so-
they were okay with, but after that, other than that, they didn't. And now we're gonna have a special town meeting where 10 people can show up. And do people at annual town meeting have to watch whatever they approve every year to be like, oh, the town's gonna hold a special town meeting. They might change whatever we say. So something like that should be held at the next annual town meeting. There's obviously no problem receiving donations. We have done it many times. We just have to call the special town meeting. And we have so many special town meetings in our future, we can call at least one.
So, hang on just a second. Just in discussing this article with the town auditor and MMA legal, in light of the fact that the original article did get voted down at annual town meeting, they didn't see any problem with putting this in here. Basically, I just put it in to try to streamline the situation, streamline any donations that might come in. Colleen said that she could set up a separate line item for that if we don't want to include it and we just want the town to save the donations until annual town meeting next year and then approve the donations to be allocated to a separate reserve fund, then we can do that.
I'm not saying there's a legal issue. I'm saying that if this is actually what reflects what the town wants, I'm saying that's not what I believe the town wants, since they actually authorized the blanket. They did not authorize a blanket donation, even $1,000 or less.
Well-
So I think that's disingenuous to say, okay, we're gonna have a special town meeting and just let the special interest group vote everything for the town.
Dirk?
I was just wondering, my sense was there was confusion at the town meeting over what was being voted on. I thought people were thinking we were voting on a blanket approval to spend the $1,000. We were only asking for a blanket approval to receive donations. I think if we want to fix that, we ought to, rather than simply go around behind the town and have piecemeal get it passed anyway in special town meetings, we ought to have an informational session and we explain what the meaning of that provision really was, why it should not be objectionable to anyone that the town accept these donations, whether it's for the fire department or any department, and particularly these small amounts, and see if we can't then put it, if we had a special town meeting after we had that informational session, I wouldn't see that as being, trying to make an end around the special town meeting. I think without that information, if we just try and do it piecemeal, I do feel like we're taking an end around the town meeting, as much as I wish the town had not voted that way to begin with.
Okay, Article number 5 is the approval for the purchase of the tilt bucket, flail mower, brush cutter, and trailer for the Public Works Department. In draft number 3, I estimated high based on the amounts of money that Robert and I talked about on the phone. For each item, trying to give extra room for shipping and handling and for price fluctuation. And just to say that the purchases shouldn't, exceed the amount of the funds available that were already approved. We've approved the $27,000 at the annual town meeting for the line item under vehicle maintenance and repair, and then the specific line item for the 2023 excavator has $2,085 and some change in it. I proposed, go ahead.
That's fine, I appreciate the explanation. I'm just saying that I think a better use of our time, if you can circulate a red line against your last one.
So that was the last one. That's what I'm saying.
So you're working with the last one, you're not talking about this one at all?
No, I'm just explaining the last one because
So you haven't made any changes?
I am proposing a change. I want to make sure that Robert has everything that he needs to be able to purchase these
Has he
items.
reviewed that language?
I spoke to him on the phone about the language that,
So I don't know what you're looking at. You're looking at this one?
yep,
Okay.
page number 2.
So it would be great to see, again, I would need some time to review
Right.
the language.
So just so everybody knows, instead of taking each item and assigning a dollar amount to it that it should not exceed, with talking with our town auditor, I proposed to him and he thought it was a good idea to just say that the total amount for all 3 items was not to exceed $29,000. And that just as in the article that I had proposed in draft number 3, the money would be coming out of the same line items. So that gives Robert a little more leeway and room to, use that money to purchase the 3 items. Any other comments on Article 5?
I don't have any thoughts right now.
Okay. Article number 6, thank you. Getting dark. We'll have to change the language a little bit because Article number 5 and number 6 depending on how the town would have voted on Article number 1, might not have been necessary, but if we're gonna eliminate Article number 1, then we will have to just change the wording a little bit. And just cross out the notwithstanding and to just start with the 2C parts. So we had, at the time of the third draft, 4 payments that we know we're going to be due. Colleen has sent me more than one email to just inform me of other ones that are going to be coming up. For example, RSU 9, that $54,992 is a monthly payment. So this is reflecting April, but then we also have May and June left in the school year. So I thought instead of saying one payment for April, that we should say get approval for April, May, and June to finish out the school year, so that we don't have to go back next month for another special town meeting for that. And
I take it you're going to put more comments in after this meeting, so I'm going to give you some verbal suggestions here with the Johnny O'Donnell Associates for December, like if everything could have an amount.
right, we talked about that, and I think the ones that don't have a specific amount, we know that the amount from several prior years is going to be over $10,000, but we won't know the specific amount until we actually receive the bill. And for like RSU 9, we won't know the specific amount until the budget passes.
So I think to pause this, because I understand what you're trying to do, and I commend it, because I understand we're trying to get as many of these payments pre-approved now, so we don't have to hold another special town meeting, as many. But I have a feeling, because we haven't agreed on the amendment to Article 16 yet, we're definitely going to need one more special town meeting. So I would take it to what, right now we have up to June, right? You're okay till June. The rest of it tries to get us to the rest of the year, right, to December. But we might miss something. So instead of trying to work out all that, and because we've all reviewed it, can we just stop at, like I said, the 4 payments here to Androscoggin Bank, F15 for payment, June, and then leave the rest for the next special town meeting, because we're definitely going to have another one. And hopefully by then, we have reached agreement on Article 1, whatever the amendment to Article 16. And then if still need be, we will be able to write these better. Because right now, this is not that informative, and then we're going to have to do it again.
Okay. So we will ask for payment for the April RSU 9 monthly payment.
Does that work for you, Colleen? Sorry if does that?
I would say April, May, and June.
Okay, right. So right now, the last payment is the Androscoggin Bank 15th, 4th payment in June.
The truck payment is
Yes.
due in June.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the 3 school payments,
Yes.
April, May, and June.
Yep.
The ambulance service.
Yep.
The radios.
Yes.
Yes.
Weld Winter Wildcats
Yes.
received a grant for $18,000 that passes through the town.
Yeah, and you have to give it to them, yeah. Okay, so J needs to go in, the Winter Wildcats, okay, all right. Anything else?
Was there another one?
Well, there was, the only other one we had a specific dollar amount for was the Kennedy Bridge bond that we
that's
know
not
is due in October.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you feel like that is specific. Yeah, let's do all the specific ones then, that you have here. So all the way to June, you're adding, Weld Winter Wildcat, and then also the Kennedy Bridge bond in October. And everything else that don't have amounts, we have to do next special, yeah. Okay, and then I guess Article 7 is the the language, I'll check, but it's the same language I gave you.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so just trying to help move this along, and that if you circulate this tomorrow, the final draft, prove it, we post it tomorrow, we have the
I'll
meeting in
circulate
a
it
week.
tonight.
Yeah, great, and then we can post tomorrow. And then make sure we have the next meeting. We're planning for the next special town meeting in May or like as soon as possible.
Right. Is everyone okay with the proposed change to article number 5 then? For the sum total for the 3 pieces of equipment instead of listing each one out separately?
I'm fine if Robert's fine.
The
I
only
want to
thing
make
that's-
sure this is what you needed, and if this is that, but I would like to read it tomorrow, like one more time.
The only thing that may be confusing, just at face value, when we have a $27,000 and then a 2085, but a sum not to exceed
Oh.
29. The two individuals are higher than the 29. It might be
Yes.
confusing to some people.
Do you want the exact dollar, the 29?
I would just think if,
Eight-
it's
85?
clearly you're rounding in there somewhere, so.
The last, well, it's 27,000, that's
Yeah.
it. And then the other, the excavator line is exact.
So maybe
And then the
29,
29,000.
085, 34.
The only thing that I thought about that, and it's not gonna make that much of a difference, is that well, if he were to use all of the money under maintenance and repairs, there are lawnmowers and things that also
Right.
need maintenance and
Yep.
repair. So, but we could put the exact amount if you want to.
We should be under a little bit though, so. we should
Yes,
have a little-
correct. Correct.
It's up to you guys.
Yeah. So would you rather have the exact amount? you
I'm
think?
just saying by listing the two numbers, your
Mhm.
not to exceed is lower than the two separate numbers.
Right, okay.
I'm assuming the quotes are written quotes from the dealer
Oh, yeah,
individually?
individually.
What about warranties and things like that, if they stated?
They have all the warranties, yeah.
Okay, all
And
right,
actually, a couple of them, the price is dropped.
okay,
2 of them, it's free shipping.
okay, okay.
The only one we really gotta pay is the trailer, but the trailer is $6,000 cheaper from where we're gonna get it than it is, you can't even touch one around here for
Right,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And we do have the price quote for the shipping, for
We
the
do,
trailer.
yep, it's all on here too,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Any other?
Okay, and then I will get those out to you this evening.
Right.
While we're on that subject, do we want to choose the date for the special town meeting?
Well, it has to be 7 days.
Right,
So from tonight, tomorrow,
would be
you're
the
posting
27th.
tomorrow. What day of the week is that?
Wednesday, the 20th, would be
27th.
tomorrow, so the 27th.
Right. And then,
There'll be a planning board meeting that night, I don't know what that is.
Oh,
yeah, no, I don't.
oh, yeah, what time is the planning? Probably.
I just need
6.
people to attend.
There's a historical meeting that night as well.
Do you wanna do Thursday?
I can't do Thursday,
All right.
because that's the only day I work late.
Friday? Friday?
I can do Friday.
Okay.
Or the 29th.
You wanna do a time?
6:30 or 7 to give people time to get home from work.
Sure.
Maybe is
6:30?
6:30 too early for people? Probably not.
If you would like to see the other items discussed in this meeting, the link to the full meeting video can be found in the description.